In a town, there was a small boy who wanted a bicycle to have fun with his friends. His parents happily granted his wish and gifted him with an absolutely stunning bicycle. The joy of having his request fulfilled was overwhelming, and the young boy began making plans to go on rides with his buddies. The following day, he took his bike to show off to his friends, who were greatly impressed. They decided to hold a race that afternoon behind their school to test out the bike's abilities. When the time came, all the little kids lined up their bicycles and started off on their journey to victory. The boy was giving it his all to win the race, yet suddenly he felt like his bicycle was moving on its own, and despite his trying to control it, the bicycle left the race course and took him away from the track. The boy tried his best to control the bicycle, but the bicycle seemed to have been possessed by the spirit that it didn't feel like stopping at any moment. Slowly, the bicycle picked up speed and came to a screeching halt, throwing the boy into the air. It took a little wicket for the boy to regain his senses. When he looked around, he saw a quiet man, sitting in a corner, who seemed to be in trouble. The bike stopped when they got closer to him, leaving the boy puzzled by what had happened. Instead of turning back, he decided to go up to the man. He asked him what was troubling him. The man told the boy that he was a poor guy and needed some money so that he could arrange something to eat. The boy had no money, but still he put his hand in his pocket thinking to find something to give to the poor man. As soon as his hand reached inside the pocket, he was surprised to sense that there was enough money in his pocket to meet the needs of the poor man. He didn't know where the money came from, but that incident made him fall in astonishment. However, he gave the money to the man, fixed his bicycle, and took his way back to the racecourse. He was still perplexed by the mysterious event with his bike while returning, but chose not to tell anyone what had happened. His friends were extremely worried when they realized he had gone missing from the race track, but they were greatly relieved when he eventually came back. They asked him where he had been, however, he simply ignored their inquiries and left. He ruminated on the mysterious event all night but couldn't come to any conclusions. The next day, as he rode his bike to school, he felt like it was leading him on an unknown path again. His bicycle took him to an aged, destitute, homeless man who had no money. This time too, the boy had no money, but because the bicycle had brought him in front of the poor man, he once again frantically put his hand in his pocket to find something. This time again the presence of money in his pocket surprised him. He gave the money to the poor man and took his way to school. He wasn't aware of why his bike kept veering off course for a whole week, but each time it did, someone in need of aid was at the end of it. Eventually, he asked his dad where he got this bicycle from. The boy went up to the bike seller and asked about the bicycle. He wanted to know where it had come from. The bike seller told the boy that it was sold by an elderly man from the town who devoted his life to serving others. Apparently, when he was a youngster, he liked riding this particular bicycle, and when he became older, he wanted others to experience what he had enjoyed during his childhood, so he sold it. The salesperson also said that when his father came into the store, he fancied the bike instantly, so they struck a deal. Upon hearing the salesperson's words, the boy sensed that the bicycle held some of the old man's energy and, even though he was no longer alive, his bicycle was there to keep on providing aid to others. The boy felt a deeper connection to the bicycle and promised himself that, as its new owner, he would continue doing good deeds in his lifetime. What started off as an ordinary bicycle ride for fun had become a major passion for the boy that encouraged him to be a responsible and considerate person throughout his life. Screech. Move rapidly with a loud sharp noise. Halt. Come to an abrupt end. Example. Screeching halt. The bicycle in the story was moving at high speed before it abruptly stopped while reaching closer to the beggar. Ruminate. Think deeply about something. Example. The boy ruminated on the mysterious incident with the bicycle. Veering off. To change direction or position from one course or idea. Example. The bicycle in the story kept veering off, taking the boy to people who needed help. Destitute. Extremely poor. Example. The bicycle took the boy to help the destitute man. Fancied. The thing you have liking for. Example. The father of the little boy fancied the bicycle in the bike shop. Struck a deal. To finalize any contract or agreement after negotiations. Example. The salesperson and the father of the boy struck a deal on purchasing the bicycle. Considerate. A person who is careful not to do things that harm others. Example. The bicycle while teaching the boy to help others encouraged him to be a good and considerate person. Take a wicket. Allowing feelings to leave. Example. When the boy fell on the ground, it took him a while to take a wicket against his unconsciousness. Astonishment. A feeling of great shock or surprise. Example. The boy felt astonished to find money in his pocket. Frantically. Acting in a rapid manner without giving it much thought. Example. The boy put his hand frantically in his pocket to look for some money.